श्रीमद्वेंकटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुग्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसार कुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणु परकाल यतीन्द्रविश्रां श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं पुनयादि परां गतिं वेदवेदे मरे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशम् अक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्का भयङ्करं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि आञ्जनेयमणिपाठलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः. Obeisances and my respects to all the elderly people present here, and my heartfelt love and regards to the youngsters present here. It is my privilege, as stated by the committee, the volunteers and the president, that I have been a part of this gathering here in this very unique township, residential township. Even before I could commence with the lecture, for the facilities that we need to facilitate for the people who come late, those of you who can sit on the floor, youngsters, may kindly come forward and reserve the seats only for the elderly ones who cannot sit. So those of you whose legs can bend may kindly sit down. So if there are youngsters, please come forward, because I'm sure with such pacing technology around, we don't get a lot of opportunity in our very own houses to sit on the floor. So this is one such opportunity. Just keep the chairs for the elderly people. Youngsters may kindly come sit. And if you ask the elders who are seated on the chairs, I'm sure in their young age they would have also sat on the floor. Thank you so much. Yesterday, at the commencement, we got to see that Vedam and Vedantam is the very root for Sanatana Dharma. We also saw that the Vedam and Vedantam that we are all aware of were very cryptic in nature. Hence, they incarnated in the form of Itihasam and Purana. Amongst Itihasas and Puranas, often our Acharyas, be it Adi Shankara, Bhagavad Ramanuja or Madhvacharya, have stated that Itihasas hold more prominence than Puranas. In Itihasas, we have two in number. One is Srimad Ramayana, second is Sri Mahabharatam. Amongst these two, though Ramayana has only 24,000 verses compared to Mahabharata, which has got 1,25,000 verses, even then, Ramayana holds majority of the share in reverence and respect, for it tries to convey the life history of a very, very important protagonist of their times called as Rama. So Ramayana is that very important. Now, in Ramayana, which we have taken as a subject, we have tried to understand the Navarasas from its perspective. So, yesterday we got to listen to three rasas of the Navarasas. The first was Shringaram, second was Karunyam, third was Hasya. No problem in recording, you can record, but is it on flight mode? Fine. So, ஏன் இது கேட்டுட்டேன்னா in one place அப்படி போடுன்னு that was the ringtone. So this one is on flight mode. So here we have the three rasas that we have discussed yesterday. The third of the rasas that we saw, Hasyam, prior to which we saw Karunyam. In Karunyam, we discussed one important episode of the son of Indra called as a Kaka. He is not Jayanta. Please don't confuse. A lot of the books may state, but as far as the commentaries to Ramayana go, he is not treated as Jayanta. He is one crow. And we saw how the Lord was benevolent towards him by not killing him, by just taking one of the eyes. There is one more place which our acharyas generally refrain from speaking, but it is an integral part of Ramayana. Now we need to understand the flow of Ramayana. First of all, Ramayana comes to us in the form of a poem. It is a kavyam. It is the Adi Kavyam, the first amongst poems. We should all understand that in nobody's life we will be talking dialogues in the form of poetry. We all speak prose, right? Please give me water. This is how I will say. I will not say, oh, the one who's present in this material body, that sentient matter, may carry one of the Panchabhutas in a container and walk on this crust and come towards me. I am not so poetic when I speak in normal life. Correct? So anybody's life is in prose. But if we have to remember facts and beauty, our elders have ensured that they give it to us in the form of poem. Poetry is generally something that we can cherish and remember. When it is rhyming, when there is a simile, when there is a metaphor, when there is a pun, when there is a onomatopoeia. So we try to remember. So poetry makes things easy for memorizing. But Ramayana did not happen in the form of a poem. Valmiki has recorded it in the form of a poem. See, if we see the yesterday's Tamil and Telugu movies, when N.T. Ramarao, Rangarao used to act, they will come on to the war field. Oh, Lavami, so he'll go in Kedaragoda Ragam. See, on the war field, I'm sure in a Kargil or a Pulwama, they won't sing in Kedaragoda. So, poetry is something that we all can easily remember. So, Ramayana happened like any of our normal lives. But when it was compiled and given to us by Valmiki, he has converted that into a poem. But when did Valmiki convert that into a poem? For that we need to understand the skeleton of Ramayana. See, Dasharatha had many wives. He had a daughter, then he wanted sons, so he performed the yaga. Dushyanth, his son-in-law, came and performed. The herbal concoction was distributed amongst his three principal wives. They naturally got pregnant over a period of time. They delivered children. The children were christened with the names Ramastvam Lakshmanena Swayamata Bharatenapi Shatrughna Namna, tells Bhattadri Narayaniyam. Girvane Rathyamano Dashamukha Kosalesh Vrishya Shringe Putriyam Ishtimishtva Dadushu Dasharathekshma Bhrudo Payasagryam Tad Bhuktva Tad Purandhrishvapi Trishu Susamam Jata Garbhasu Jato Ramastvam Lakshmanena Swayamata Bharatenapi Shatrughna Namna. So they were given names. Then they enjoyed a memorable boyhood. Then they went to school. They graduated. They were married. They lived happily. Rama and Sita along with Lakshmana came to forest. They lived happily. Shurpanaka came. Since she became an impediment, she brought her brother along. The brother brought his uncle Maricha as a gem-studded golden deer. She was fascinated by the deer. She asked for it. Rama ran behind it. He shot at the deer. Meanwhile, Ravana came in the form of a sannyasi, Ravanananda, and captured Sita and took her all the way to Lanka. Rama got into a Gadbandhan with the monkeys. And as he got into a coalition, he shot at Vali, made Sugriva the king, then sent Hanuman to Lanka. And Hanuman ensured that he brought back the news that Sita was safe. Sita was rescued by Rama by building a bridge, fighting the demons, and then bringing her back to Ayodhya. Rama was now at the age of 39, Sita was 33. Now, after Pattabhishekam in Ayodhya, for 2 years they lived very happily. And Sita is when she got pregnant. So she was 35 and Rama was 41. At that point in time, it is said in Uttarakandam that Rama got to know the news from one of his trusted spies called as Bhadra. Padma Puranam and Skanda Puranam go much in detail to describe that the spy got to know the news from some anonymous washerman who happened to admonish his wife. So upon hearing this hearsay, Rama thought that there should not be a single flaw or a blemish on his regime. He knew that Sita was all pure and she was the personification of chastity and purity, no doubt. But he did not want any ill fame to cast upon his regime. He could have court-martialed and brought that anonymous person to the court and asked him questions. Instead of doing that, he thought when there is an accusation, I need to clean myself, my name of it. So what he did was, he called Lakshmana that evening. He said, Lakshmana, Sita has been desiring to go to the forest to meet with the rishis. Bhavabhuti in Uttara Ramacharitra mentions of this episode where Sita tells Rama, my dear husband, if my children are born, they should be grounded, humble and simple. For that, they should grow in an environment with the rishis so that they stay humble. Vidya dadati vinayam. So I want my children to go there. So this is being mentioned by Bhavabhuti in his beautiful work called as Uttara Ramacharitram. So he tells Lakshmana, you take Sita to the forest. Lakshmana is very happy. He tells, I'll take my sister-in-law. But Rama tells, wait, you will have to leave her there and come. Lakshmana tries convincing his brother, but his brother says, it is my order, you will have to do so. Next day, Lakshmana escorts Sita. He puts her to the forest. Sita is amazed at the beauty of the flora and the fauna around. While she is looking at the foliage, Lakshmana puts his head down and says, Mother, Rama has asked you to stay back in the forest. I am dropping you by a safe place on the banks of river Tamasa, which is a tributary to Ganga, which is close to the hermitage of Valmiki. So she starts crying and she tells, Lakshmana, all through my life I have borne such shocks. But one thing, just go ask your brother. Now look at my tummy. Because Lakshmana has never seen his sister-in-law above her feet. He tells, Naham janami keyure, Naham janami kundale, nupure tvabhijanami. Rama, I cannot recognize any of the ornaments that you showcase to me, except for the nupuram. Some say it is the anklet, some say it is the toe ring. In whichever case, I can recognize only this. Rama asks, how can you recognize only this? Nityam padavi vandanar. Since I prostrate at her feet every day, I can recognize only this. So to that Lakshmana, Sita tells, look at my tummy. When Lakshmana looks, she tells, your brother keeps harping on the fact that he is graduated out of Vasishtha's university. Just go ask him if Vasishtha has taught him to desert a pregnant woman in the middle of the forest. At that point in time, Bhavabhuti tells, I have heard that in this world, stones are merciless. Kallukku iram kedayadu. There is no mercy to the stone. He tells, probably there is a possibility that even stones may have mercy, but Rama doesn't have mercy towards Sita. So Sita is now taken to the hermitage of Valmiki. Now Valmiki starts doubting the character of Rama. He thinks, I thought Rama is one of the perfectionists in this world. Look at him, what he has done. That is when he gets confused. He doesn't inform any of the inmates of the hermitage that this is Sita. See, in those days, newspapers did not carry photo of Sita. So none of them knew about Sita. So he tells, this is Maithili. Nobody knew the Vigraha Vakyam for Maithili is the one who belonged to Mithila. So her name is Maithili. So they didn't know this is Rama's wife. That is when Valmiki doubts. When questions arise in his mind about the qualities of an ideal person, which he thinks Rama is not, that is where Ramayana begins. If you see Ramayanam, Valmiki will be seated in the ashramam. Then Narada comes and he asks one question. Konasmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmajnascha kritajnascha satyavakyo dridhavrataha charitrena chako yuktaha dharma bhuteshu kohitaha vidwan kakkas samarthascha kaschaika priyadarshanaha atmavan ko jitakrodhaha dyutiman ko anasuyakaha kasya bibhyati devascha jata roshasya sanyuge. That is when he is confused and Narada comes and tells, don't doubt on Rama. You are asking me, Valmiki, as to who is the one who has got the 16 gunas. Ikshvaku vamsha prabhavaha Ramo nama janeshutaha sudha madhurya bhashana sudha, tells Tyagaraja. So it is the same Rama who has got 16 qualities. When Valmiki is completely convinced of it, he wants to document the life history of Rama. By now, most of the events have happened. Correct? Rama is born, Rama ruled, his wife was kidnapped, she was sent to the forest. Most of the events have happened. How will Valmiki know what all has happened? That is when Brahma comes and tells, there is a CCTV camera in your palm. Hastam amalakam gata. When you see your palm, you will be able to see the incidents that have happened in Rama's life. Based on what you see, you write. He starts composing Ramayana then. It takes about 8 to 9 months. Meanwhile, Sita delivers 2 sons, Lava and Kusha. Those 2 sons are unaware that they are the sons of Rama. That is when Valmiki teaches Ramayana to them and asks them to go and spread the word in the villages around. They end up reaching the territory of Ayodhya, and Rama himself gets to hear about his own life history through his very own sons. So this is how the entire history of Ramayana comes. So it is this place where Sita is deserted, where we start wondering if Rama could have been more merciful and judicious to her. So in 3 rasas, Karunya rasam, there was one small portion pending which we have completed. Next is an important gunam which transforms itself into a rasam. It is called Raudra rasam. What is Raudram? Now, most parents here may beg to disagree. You will keep telling your children, don't get angry. Anger is bad. But as per our Shastram, anger is also one of the good qualities that one should possess. But the beauty is, in Sri Rudram, there is a mantra. Drape andhasaspade daridran nila lohita. So, drape means the one who gets angry in the right proportion, for the right reason, at the right time. Since these 3 conditions never match in our case scenario, we should not get angry. First of all, we should get angry for the right reason. That won't happen. It should come at the right time. Right? It should come at the right time. Third, it should come in the right proportion. Some say, if he gets angry, he doesn't know how to control. Then he is unfit to get angry. If one person is unable to control his very own anger, he is unfit to get angry. So these are all some of the conditions that go along with anger. Interestingly, one of the mystic saint poetesses of the South Indian tradition, called as Andal, you might have heard in the Tamil tradition, she is one of the Alvar saints. She has a very, very close association with Telugu literature. In the Panchamaha Kavyam that you trace in Telugu literature, one of the greatest kings and patrons to Telugu literature was Krishnadevaraya. When he went to Sri Kakulandra Vishnu temple, it's a beautiful temple. In Kakulandra Vishnu temple, while he was stationed there with his regiment, that night the Lord appeared in his dream. That is when Krishnadevaraya expressed his desire to put forth his love for Telugu language. Desha Bhasha Landaku. So he tells, amongst the Indian languages, Telugu is very sweet. You will appreciate the very fact that a Tamil poet called as Subramanya Bharati, who is often called Bharatiyar, tells, Sundara Telunginil Pati Saitu. Telugu is a very beautiful language to compose poems. தமிழுக்கு சப்போர்ட் நீங்க எங்க தெலுங்கு இல்லையா? சுந்தர தெலுங்கு பாரதியாரே சொல்லியிருக்கார், நம்பலையா நீங்க? So Telugu is one of the languages which is very fit for poem because most endings come in akarantam. When it comes in akarantam, music says it is very, very fit for poetry. So we have a history of languages being appreciative of each other. One. Second, in that temple when Krishnadevaraya was stationed, the Lord appeared and said, if you have been searching for a topic to compose, then choose the topic on a lady who adorned herself with a garland and gave that priceless garland to me. See, generally when we go to temples, we take the garlands worn by the Lord, whereas there is one saint poetess who wore the garland first and then she gave the garland to the Lord. So that kavyam thereby got the name of the lead lady of that work, called as Amukta Malyada. So Andal, in one of the two poems that she presented, she gave two poems. One is called Thiruppavai, the second is called Nachiyar Thirumozhi. In Thiruppavai she states, Shinathinal Tennilangai Komanai Chetta Manathu Kiniyanai Padavum Nee Vaithiravai. Oh, you girl who is stationed inside the house, why don't you wake up in these wee hours of the morning? And why don't you sing praise of that Lord who got angry beautifully? See, if you look at some person, see, he is Mr. Suresh. Not here. Example. He is Mr. Suresh. I told you, right? He gets angry very beautifully. Will you ever describe a person like this? Either you will say he is handsome, or you will say he gets angry. He gets angry beautifully. Sinathinal Tennilangai Komanai Chetta Manathu Kiniyan. I love Rama for he got angry beautifully. Why? See, anger is also one of the qualities that is required for a primitive mortal who is living in this world. Suppose I go along with my wife to one garden in the evening. One person comes in Harley Davidson. Even though Trump might have put lot of tariff, he still comes in that Harley Davidson. He knows this is a democratic country. It is by the people, of the people, for the people. And my wife is sporting true 22 carat GRT chain. What is there in your city? Bima Jewellers. GRT. So she is sporting one chain. This man in the Harley Davidson thinks this is a democratic country. How does it matter if it is in her neck or my neck? And he tries to pull the chain. He is quite successful. And he takes that chain and he runs away. My wife is standing along with me. We were walking in the garden. What will she expect from me? Like Hrithik Roshan. I have to run behind that thief. Like that Prabhas have to catch and then get that chain. She will expect. Instead I tell, see, Bhagavad Gita tells, nothing is permanent in life. All these materials that you see around, they are all perishable. Jivatma alone is permanent. Then she will not show even an iota of anger on the thief. She will show it on me. So, anger is a quality that I should display at that point in time. Interestingly, in Sri Mahabharatam, all the five should have got angry at Dushyasana. Draupadi was in her periods. Ekavastra Rajaswala tells Vyasa in Mahabharatam. Ekavastra, she was sporting one piece of cloth. Rajaswala, she was in her periods. So she could not come to the court in front of everybody. Despite that, initially Duryodhana sent his messenger. Pratikamin went, but Pratikamin failed to bring Draupadi to the court. Hence he sent his own brother Dushyasana to bring her to the court. Dushyasana tried not to even explain to her, but pulled her by the hair. He dragged her along the floor and blood was strewn on the floor, tells Vyasa. In this state, when she was being humiliated and harassed publicly, Bhishma should have got up and shot a Brahmastram at Dushasana. There ends the story. But he said, see, as per Article 34F and 45B, if a lady has been won in the game of dice, it is a very thin legal point to decide how much. So, when his jurisprudence was needed at the most, he failed to use that. That is why the Lord ensured that he performed a complete dialysis of him through the bed of arrows, and then only he got Vishnu Sahasranamam from him. Because Duryodhana was paying him for his food, that quality would have gotten him also inadvertently. So when everybody refused, at least one of the 5 husbands should have got up and killed Dushasana that very moment. They all put their heads down, all gym body husbands, 6 packs, all they put their heads down. That is when one student to an acharya asked, when not one, when there were 5 husbands, why did she call out the name of Hari? For this, the acharya stated 1000 years back in a Tamil commentary. I will tell that line. ஒரு பர்த்தா கையை பிடித்து கொண்டு பாரியை பந்தையில் நடக்கும்போது கல்லிடறினால் அம்மே என்னுமா போல என்னும் இவள் கதறினாள். If the husband and wife are walking together in a park, the wife's foot comes and hits on a big piece of stone. She withers in pain. What will she say? Suresh! Will she shout? If her husband's name is Suresh, will she shout Suresh? Suresh is useless anyways. So, she will tell Amma. But Amma is 1000 miles away. But she will always call out the name of that person whose name itself will give solace. If she calls out Suresh, it will increase. So, instead of calling out her husband's name, Yudhishthira, Bhim, Chota Bhim, Bada Bhim and all, she called out Hari. So, anger is a quality that is required. Where is anger shown in Mahabharatam? Vishwamitra barges in. Dasharatha promises. But when Vishwamitra tells, Svaputram Rajashardula Ramam Satyaparakramam Kakapaksha Dharam Veeram Jeshtham me Datumarhasi, give me your eldest of your sons who is dark hued. Will you go ask somebody like that? Send me your dark son. Why? Because in India, traditionally, we have never ever felt that black is bad and white is good. This is a very Western concept. So they had this apartheid and all that to fight. We have never been racist. In fact, Shastram tells that the most supreme of the Lord is always dark. Krishna Megha Janitam Janita Paharam, tells Vedanta Deshika. It is only the dark clouds that will give you rain. If the clouds are white, it means it is waterless. If the cloud is dark, it means it is filled with water. So the Lord is called Kala Megham because he is filled with the water called mercy. Only until he is dark, it will be beneficial to us. So he tells, give me your dark son. Dasharatha gets low BP and he swoons there itself. Then to ensure he comes back to consciousness, they bring Nartanga. What is Nartanga? Emi Telugulo Nartanga, Kemi Shabdam, Nartanga. As of now, you take it as Nartanga. It is okay. Tamil will give one word. Nartanga. Nartanga is one citrus variety where they will dry I will tell the recipe later. So, they will put that in salt and generally if your BP is down, if they give, then you're. So, so Dasharatha swooned. Vishwamitra got angry. He said, "You promised to help me, but now you are going back in your words. I am leaving this court this very moment." He left. While leaving, he said, "Sukhi bhava suhrit vrita." May you live happily. See, in the fight, whenever somebody tells like this, it is a curse. You live happily. Sukhi bhava suhrit vrita. So that is when Vasishtha intervenes and tells, see, Vasishtha tells, Vishwamitra and I have been enjoying enmity for years. But there is one thing that I can agree, that if he takes your son Rama, it will be only for the benefit of your son. So send him. So the first case of anger, Raudram, is through Vishwamitra. Second comes Vishwamitra's own relative, Parashurama. You know Vishwamitra and Parashurama were related. See, there was a king called Gadhi. Gadhi Maharaja had one daughter called Satyavati. She came in the Kshatriya clan. She was given in marriage to a Brahmana Maharishi called Ruchika. So this Ruchika was married to Satyavati. They wanted a child. Meanwhile, Satyavati's father and mother also wanted a child. In those days, it was common to see mother-in-law and daughter-in-law carrying at the same time. So, the mother reaches her son-in-law and she tells, "You perform on Putra Kameshti both for me and for my daughter." So, he has kept one vessel, in that it is written Mrs. Ruchika, the other vessel it is written Mrs. Gadhi. Even before the yajna could get completed and Ruchika could come into the place where the sacrifice was performed, this Gadhi's wife, out of hurry, she drinks the pot filled with water that was written with her daughter's name, Mrs. Satyavati. So the mother's pot water is drunk by the daughter. So thereby the Rishi tells, as you naturally you become pregnant, conceive, the Kshatriya queen may have a son who will develop Brahmana qualities. And the Brahmana wife, who is Ruchika's wife, may have a son who will develop Kshatriya qualities. But the Satyavati, who is the wife to the Rishi, said, "See, you are my husband. You have to give some concession." So he said, "Don't worry, your son will not be like that, your grandson will be like that." So the son born to the Rishi was Jamadagni, and Jamadagni's son was Parashurama. Despite being into a Brahmana clan, he develops Kshatriya-like qualities. On the other hand, Gadhi has a son who is Kaushika, who later becomes Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra gets angry in Ramayana first, next his own relative Parashurama gets angry. Parashurama is very flabbergasted by the fact that Rama, who is just 12 years of age, could break the bow of Lord Shiva. Kratuhara shikhari kantuka vihrutyunmuka jagati runtuta jitahari danti danta dantura damana kushala dashashata bhujamuka rupati kula rudira jara bharita prututara tataka tarpita pitrika bhrugupati sugati vihatikara nata parudishu parigha. So, after hearing this, Parashurama comes in anger. That is when Dasharatha falls at the feet of Parashurama and tells him, "My son Rama, by mistake he broke that bow. Don't worry, whatever is the damage charges, I will pay with 12% interest." That is when Rama tells, "Don't seek remorse from this person, my dear father. I know how to teach Parashurama a lesson." So he takes the bow held by Parashurama, which was a Vishnu's bow, and handles it ably and shows his prowess. So this is the second case of anger. Third, we come across one character himself, who is an angry young man. Who? Lakshmana. He will get angry for petty reasons. One of the primary reasons where he gets angry is when Dasharatha tells Rama, "See, there is a small change in the plan." What is the small change in the plan? You were to become the higher apparent. Now, you will have to go to the forest. Dasharatha was very lucky to have had Rama as his son. Thank God Krishna was not his son. If Krishna was told this, Krishna would have said, my advocate will talk to you. Whereas Rama, being Rama, he said, no problem, father. Whatever you say, if you ask me to stay here, I will stay. If you ask me to go to forest, I will go. So he comes and informs his mother, Kaushalya. Kaushalya initially cries. She is also equally helpless. That is when Rama tells, you have to stay back. You should not come with me to the forest, my dear mother. If you come, who will give medicines to father? He will forget to take his BP tablets. So you stay back. Then he went to the harem of Sita. Sita said, I have packed all my luggage and kept. He tries to convince her. But she tells, no, I was told by an astrologer while I was 6 years of age that I will spend a lot of my time in the forest. So I have stitched a lot of ethnic clothes for the forest. So at that point in time, she also agrees to come with Rama. As Rama and Sita agree to go to the forest, that is when Lakshmana barges and he tells that if you both are going to the forest, I will come. Aham sarvam karishyami jagrataha swapataschate. At that very point in time, Lakshmana gets angry. He tells, this kingdom is meant for a lion like you, Rama. And how dare that old man called Dasharatha has managed to give it to a stray dog called as Bharata. He shouts, Goma yuvan mrigapater balirambujaksha. Where does this come? It comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. Rukmini drafts one love letter in Sanskrit. Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara shrunvatante nirvishya karna vivarehi haratongataapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilathanarbham tvai achyuta vishati chittamapatrapam me. She tells Krishna, you have to come and marry me soon because engagement with Shishupala is over. See, for Rukmini it was a very thrilling marriage. Reception, Janavasam, Nishchetartham, everything with Shishupala. That ambassador car, they will stick rose with sellotape and they will take them around in Gachibowli and all that, right? So all that also Rukmini had it with Shishupala. Marriage alone was with Krishna. Kannalam kodittu kannidannai kaipidipan anarnirindha Sishupalantan deshainda anarnirukkave aangavalai kaipiditha kanadan pedumur arangame, it tells Andal. So there also she tells, I am supposed to be a property of a lion like you, Krishna, but now a stray dog called as Sishupala is trying to take me. Goma yuvan mrigapader balirambujaksha. Likewise here Lakshmana out of anger tells, this Bharata is a stray dog who shouldn't get this. There comes another instance where the other instance is when Rama, Sita and Lakshmana were in Chitrakuta. That is when they get to witness a dust storm, Andhi. If you go to the north of India, you will get to see something called the Lubins, Andhi. So looking at this Andhi, the dust storm come, Rama tells Lakshmana, go and check what is happening. He goes to the top of a tree and checks and finds out that Bharata is marching with an army. He tells Rama, Sita, you get inside the hermitage. Rama wonders, while I was in Ayodhya, they said get out. Now when I have come out, you are saying get in. So that is when Lakshmana tells, I see that wretched son of Kaikeyi called Bharata coming here. Rama tells, why are you shouting at him? It is he who is the cause for the exile of you, Rama. Rama tells, don't blame me. Not a single word has been uttered by Bharata that I want to rule the kingdom. You have mistaken him. Then Rama shows his Raudram. He tells, Lakshmana, I doubt that you have that avariciousness to capture the kingdom. Let Bharata come. I will convince him. He will give the kingdom to you. I will take Bharata to the forest. Lakshmana starts crying. No, just like that I said, no, you should never ever doubt your own brother. త్రిపటలను తీర్చి కంటిరే పువలెనుమా అప్పరామ భక్తి ఎంతో గొప్పరా కపివారిధి దాటున కలికి రోట కటున అపరాధి త్యాగరాజుకు ఆనందము హేచుచున అపరమ భక్తితో త్రిపటలను తీర్చి కంటిరెప్పు వలెనుమా. Isn't he like my eyelids that protect the eyes? So this is one instance where Lakshmana gets angry. Then, is there some other place where Rama gets angry? Because Rama is a very perfectionist. He will not showcase. Media limelight is always there. But there is an instance where he gets angry. See, when Vibhishana seeks asylum, Rama tells Sakrideva prapannayat tavasmiti cha yachate abhayam sarvabhutebhyah dadamyetat vratam mama. Hey Lakshmana, I give asylum to Vibhishana despite knowing that he has come from the other country. It doesn't matter. So when he gives asylum, Vibhishana tells, I will give you one route to take all these monkeys to Lanka. You can construct a bridge. Immediately Rama wonders, where will I go for the civil engineer? He tells there is one called Nala. He designs very well. Neela is very good in implementing the plan. Jambavan is a very good team leader. He will supervise. Monkeys are very good people. When delegated, they will act correctly. Sugriva is there to be the disciplinary board committee. He will punish the monkeys if they are not doing. So you have such a good team around. But there is one thing that prerequisite to constructing this bridge. Rama asked what? Vibhishana said you have to get eco clearance from Green Tribune. Only if Ocean King gives you the clearance, you can construct the bridge. What should I do for that? In those days, to get eco clearance without giving anything under the table, you have to file, you have to give an application. 3 days they have to sanction. Ease of business. Now, in India, you may be wondering if it is possible. In those days itself, it was not possible to go through the straight method. See, I got married in 2014. Then for various bank purposes, they wanted a marriage certificate. So I went to the online site in Chennai. I saw 75 rupees. If you take one form and fill and give, you will get. So my wife and me judiciously followed every word what was said. We bought the form for 75 rupees and went to the registrar. He just took it with no interest in his life, nor in the form. And he did not reply. Then we were wondering why. Then one lady came out to the office and said, Sir, Anju Vettugo. Why should I cut 5? She implied 5K. She said, Sir, he is a very honest officer. Whatever money he takes, he will work for that. See, look at the state of our country. He is already getting one salary. For that he will not work. If you give him an extra 5,000, for that he will work sincerely. So you have to give. See, this is not the state now. This is a state right from the days of my grandfather. My grandfather, I mentioned yesterday, he served State Bank of India, which was called Imperial Bank in the British regime. He joined while it was British. So he lived in a temple town in the south of Tamil Nadu called as Kumbhakonam. In Kumbhakonam, every third house is a temple. And each temple is not less than 4 acres. And each temple is replete with Chola architecture, embellished with Nayaka and Vijayanagara architecture. So it is a temple town. You will find houses in the middle of temples. So he was staying with his grandmother. That is when he got the order from Imperial Bank that he could join as a clerical officer. So the moment he got the order, he went and showed to his grandmother. My grandfather's grandmother was filled with joy because he happened to get a government job. In those days, government job was like moksha. So if you, in Tamil they used to say, if you manage to get a son-in-law who is in the government job, you can literally close your eyes and give your daughter. So, literally you'll have to close your eyes like Gandhari and get married. So he happened to tell his grandmother that I've got a government job. To bless her grandson, she said you need to go to Madurantakam, another temple town near Chennai, and have a glimpse of Lord Rama, Karunakara there. My grandfather failed to understand why should he leave one place filled with temples and go all the way till Madurantakam in those days when transportation was not that very complete. Despite that, he wanted to respect his grandmother and went to Madurantakam, had a darshan of Rama, and he had a darshan of Garuda there. That is when he understood what his grandmother meant. See, the Garuda in Madurantakam has 4 hands, 2 above, 2 beneath. Since he is going for a government job, the grandmother wanted to ensure that his hands were upwards and downwards. So here, 3 days was the Prayopavesham. Prayopavesham is fasting, genuine fasting. In our country, many leaders fast. They will go behind, have one Musambi juice and come. Proper fasting, like Hazare. So if you do it for 3 days, then the Ocean King has to come. But the Ocean King refused to come. So when the Ocean King refused to come, Rama got angry because he went by the rule book. See, 3 a.m. he started on day 1. 3 days were over, 24 plus 24 plus 24, so many hours, 72 hours was over. So he failed to understand why the Ocean King did not come. At that very point in time, he tells, Chapam anaya saumitre, Chapam anaya, get my bow and the quiver of arrows. O dear son of Sumitra. At that point in time, for the first time, Sugriva got to know that Rama could get angry. The monkeys thought, no, we should all behave well. Samudram soshayishyami padbhyam yantu plavangamaha. You get my quiver of arrows and the bow. I will shoot missiles at the ocean and ensure that I dry up every drop of water, and I will ask all the monkeys to walk. See, the oceans are dry. Why should we construct a bridge? We can walk. We can pick up pearls, corals, and we can walk. So that is when the Ocean King came running. He said, Pahimam, Pahimam. Rama, I was trying to find out some good gifts for you. That is why it took some time. See how he tries to manage the situation. I was trying to spot some gifts for you. By then, why do you have to get angry on me now? Rama tells, O Samudra Raja, did you ever think that I was holding this bow and the arrow to hit it? You? No. I knew that you would come and I wanted to ask you. If there is someone who is troubling you, I will hit at them. Samayaniki tagu mataladene sadhinchane Hare Ramachandra Raghulesha Mrudu Subhaja Sesha Shayana Paranadi Zodaraja Viraja Durakaraja Rajanuta Niramaya Parna Sarasi Yugakalaja, tells Tyagaraja. So this is one instance where Rama gets angry. Is there any other instance? Yes. When Rama was fighting Ravana, Indra had sent his chariot and charioteer, Ratham and Sarathi. Sarathi was Mathali. So that day one when Mathali came, Andal tells in Nachiyar Tirumudi, Madali mun ter kolla. It seems Mathali drove the chariot forward. Sir, my son is studying the book with both his eyes. I never knew ears can help study, only eyes can help, right? Wouldn't it be redundant to say that my son is reading the book with his eyes? Wouldn't it be redundant to say, hey, that car is going forward? Only when put on the reverse gear, it will go backwards. Otherwise it will go forward. But why should Andal tell that Mathali, the charioteer to Indra, took the chariot forward? The commentator tells, because Mathali was a charioteer to Indra. Indra had never had the habit of taking the chariot forward. In most of the battles, he will always retrace his steps and go back. So Mathali knew that the chariot will have only reverse gear. He never knew it had forward gear. So Mathali munter kolla when he became the charioteer to Rama. So on the second day when the chariot was to go to the workshop for some service, oil had come down. Rama was standing on the war field fighting Ravana with no chariot, with no Vahanam. That is when Hanuman lifts him. Hanumanta Vahanam. Then Ravana starts shooting arrow left, right. But not a single arrow struck Rama. Rama was wondering where these arrows went. He looked down. All the arrows that were shot by Ravana were striking at the chest of Hanuman. Why? Because Ravana was super angry with this monkey for having burnt Lanka and caused $6 billion US dollar loss. So that is when Rama gets super angry. Sakritva bhrukutin kruddha kimchit satraika lochanaha jagamasu mahakrodham nirdahanniva rakshasan tasya kruddhasya vadanam drishtva ramasya dhimataha sarvabhutani vitresu pramkapadaccha medini simhashardulavan shailaha sachanchala chaladrumaha babhuva chapi kshubitaha samudraha saritam patihi. At that time Rama's eyes became dark. You could see there's red veins coming at the close, showing that he was getting angry, and that is when he shot arrow at Ravana. So this is one instance where Raudram is shown. So we have seen characters like Lakshmana, Parashurama and Vishwamitra as well as a protagonist showing Raudram. Kovam irukkum idathildan gunam irukkum is one saying. The person who has got the right amount of anger that can be showcased is the one who is replete with the gunam. What is the gunam? Rama is called Mahavira. Who is the Mahavira, you know? Jain Mahavira. Amit Shah ko theriyum. Now, as per Sanatana Dharma, the original Mahavira is Rama. Vedanta Deshika has called Rama as Mahavira. That is why the Grantham that he composed is called Mahavira Vaibhavam. Look at the Sanskrit and the technique with which he handles this work. Jaya Jaya Mahavira Mahadhira Dhaureya Deva Sura Samara Samaya Samudita Nikhila Nirjara Nirdharita Niravadhika Mahatmya Dashavadana Damita Daivata Parishada Bhyathita Dasharati Bhava Dinakara Kula Kamala Divakara Divishadharipati Rana Sahacharana Chatura Dasharada Charamarana Vimochana Kosala Sutta Kumara Bhava Kanchukita Karanakara Kaumara Keli Gopaita Kaushika Dvara Ranadvara Durya Bhavyastra Brindavandita Pranata Jana Vimata Vimatana Dullalita Dullalita Tanudara Vishika Vidadana Vigadita Vishararu Shararu Tataka Tatakeya Jada Kirana Shakala Dhara Jadila Natapati Makuta Tatanatana Patu Vibuda Saridati Ati Bakula Madugalana Lalita Padanalina Raja Upamridita Nijabrijina Jahadupala Tanuruchira Parama Munibara Yuvatinuta Kushika Suta Katitha Vidita Nava Vividha Katha Maithila Nagara Sulochana Lochana Chakora Chandra Khanda Parashuko Danda Prakandana Kandana Shaunda Bujadanda Chanda Karakirana Mandala Bodhita Pundarika Vanaruchi Lunda Galochana Mochita Janaka Hridaya Shanka Tanka Parikrita Nikhila Narapati Varana Janaka Duvidu Kuchadata Viharana Samuchita Karatala Shatakoti Shataguna Katina Parashudhara Munivara Karadhrita Dura Vanamatama Nija Danura Karshana Prakashita Parameshtya Kratuhara Shikari Kantuka Vihutyun Muka Jagadiruntu Darita Hari Danti Danta Dantura Damana Kushala Dasha Shata Bhuja Muka Nupati Kula Rudira Jara Bharita Prututara Tataka Tarpita Pitrika Bhrugupati Sugati Vihati Kara Nata Paru Dishuparigha Anutabaya Mushita Hudaya Pitrivachana Palana Pratignya Bhagnata Yauvarajya Nishada Raja Sauhrida Suchita Saushilya Sagara Bharadvaja Shasana Parigrihita Vichitra Chitra Kuta Giri Katakatata Ramya Vasata Ananya Shasaniya Pranada Bharata Makuta Sugadita Paduka Grabhisheka Nirvartita Sarvaloka Yoga Kshema Pishita Ruchi Vihita Durita Valamathana Tanaya Balubuganugati Sarabhasa Shayana Trinashakala Paripatana Bhayachakita Sakala Sura Munivara Bahumata Mahastra Samatya Druhina Hara Valamathana Duralakshya Sharalakshya Dandaka Tapovana Jangama Parijata Virada Harina Shadula. It goes on. So, this is called Mahavira Vaibhavam. If you all have time, the entire Ramayana has been put forth in a succinct form in Sanskrit as a prose by a 13th century poet, come dramatist, come sagacious preceptor, come dietitian, come philosopher called Vedanta Deshika. So he has put this forth in a prose, Gadyam, idi Padyam kadu, Gadyam, prose. Mahavira Vaibhavamaina Raghuvira Gadyam. So when you read this and when you teach your children at a very young age, you can be rest assured that they can learn any language in this world like a cakewalk. Because Sanskrit is one typical language that gives complete exercise to your tongue. Jadakirana Shakaladhara Jatila Natapati Makuta Tata Natana Patu Vipuda Saridati Atibahula Madhugalana Lalitapada Nalina Raja Upamritita Nijabrijina Jahadupala Tanu Ruchira Parama Muni Bara Yuvati Nuta. You won't know where to stop and where to breathe. The dha, the kha, the nga, the nya. So these are all letters and the pronunciation that try helping us. This is the best yoga that you can give to your tongue. And that is why all our ancestors have insisted that memorizing is an art. See, Sanatana Dharma has believed that as much as possible, do not rely on books. Read from them and grasp them completely. Even till about 10-15 years back, when we all had just landlines, we used to remember the phone numbers of most of our relatives. But today, knowing one's own number is an art. Sir, I will give you a missed call. You tell me what my number is. So, our brains have been completely rusted. So, we don't want to remember anything. We open an Excel and write down the passwords of so many sites and we don't even remember. Even if the net banking tells, change your password, we struggle because we don't remember what were our 3 last passwords. So memorizing is an art. Imagine, today the only living civilization in the world is Sanatana Dharma. Why? Because you go to Egypt, you find the pyramids and the Sphinx, undoubtedly a great piece of architecture, no doubt. But do we know what was the language spoken in the Egyptian civilization? No, it is a different language, it's mostly Arabic. Do we know what was the dress and the cuisine during the Egyptian civilization? No. Completely the landscape has changed. The only remains of Egyptian civilization is the river Nile, the pyramids, the Abu Simbel. That's all. You go to China, the Huanghu civilization which once thrived. See, China has been mentioned by Kalidasa 2000 years before. He tells Chinam Shukaihi in Kumara Sambhavam. He tells that the flag fluttered high in the sky and the silk was as soft as the China silk. Chinam Shukaihi. So China was very well popular. But today if you go to China, what is the civilization? It is completely a different regime, completely a different language. It is the later part of the Mahayana Buddhism that came into picture. What was the language spoken in those days? We don't know. You go to the Mayas and Incas, we just have a few places in Mexico and down in South America which tells us, oh, this is where Mayas and Incas would have survived. We don't know what is the language. But today, you go to the remotest of the villages in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka or Andhra, on the platform outside a small hut, the students will be reciting Aruna Mantram and Aruna Prashnam, which was recited thousands of years ago. The same Samavedam, Ashwamedha Mahamantram is recited today. The same Aghamarshana Suktam which was recited during Bath is being recited today. Why? Because Sanatana Dharma took a very different route. It said, knowledge should be preserved not in manuscripts but in our memory. Because it came through Shruti and Smriti, we are able to preserve the civilization. See, till about 20 years before, in Kanchipuram, there was a great Tatachar Swami who memorized all the 1,25,000 verses of Mahabharata. He will tell from Vanaparva, this is the shloka. You don't need a book. Even with a book, we will have to keep searching. So as a country, we have relied in that. So this Mahavira Vaibhavam of Vedanta Deshika is a typical example of how Sanskrit as a language can be used to condition one's tongue. See, many have knowledge, but when they have to put that forth to another person is where the problem comes. Sir, I wanted to tell you, it has come till here. What is the use? It should come after that. Nobody, sir, in my heart it is there. Where will I go and see inside his heart? There is only auricle, ventricle, aorta, pulmonary vein and artery. So if it has to come out, we need a lot of practice. Every day that Sanskrit, I'm not talking only about Sanskrit. Don't think I'm putting the regional languages down. Every language is important. Sanskrit is important because the technique in which the language has been construed gives a lot of exercise to the tongue. Prachinamaina Telugulo unna anni shabdamu Sanskritame. See, if you speak proper chaste Telugu, instead of telling pelli, if you say pelli, then there is no use. Adi pellina, pellina. Pelli, kada? But in all these Gemini TV, that RJ will come and say, pelli chestunnaru. So, maaku akada doubt vastundi. Adi pellina, pellina. Pelli kada? ఆ రీతిలో తెలుగు మాట్లాడుతున్నారంటే ప్రాచీనమైన తెలుగులో ఉన్న సంస్కృత శబ్దానికి ప్రయోగం ఇక్కడ లేదు. But if we have to talk a language properly, then Sanskrit comes into picture. So Mahavira Vaibhavam tells that Rama showed his valor, Veeram, where, see, the first vadham he did was of Tataka. Tataka was a lady. So Rama initially resisted. See, if he shoots an arrow at Tataka, then immediately Menaka Gandhi will come. She will tell, this is against women's rights, call Lalita Kumara Mangala. Then the Women's Commission will come and they will put on notice. So he had doubts whether to kill Tataka or not. That is when he asked Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra said, first of all, your assumption that she is a lady itself is flawed. She is not a lady. How did you decide she is a lady? She is not a lady because she tries to grab the very fetus from pregnant mothers and consumes those fetuses. So how do you call her a lady? A lady is supposed to be a personification of Vatsalya, motherhood. Even the mother to a demon called Jarasandha, Jara, she developed love towards her son. But look at her, she is unfit. She is fit to be killed. Kill her. So that is when Rama shoots an arrow. Solluvakkum kadiyavega chudusaram kariyashemmal alluvakkum nirattinal mel vidalum adu vairakkuntin kalluvakkum nenjir tangada appuram kalendru kalla pullarku nallor sonna porul ena poyintandre, tells Kamba. So that is the first vadham. Then Shat Ratrau, 6 nights, Rama and Lakshmana managed to protect the yajnam of Vishwamitra. So Rama shoots an arrow at Subahu and drives away Maricha. Pasitala mande muniyaagamunani bahu parakrama nerunguraka sashivadana bhaktajanavana shankarane. He protects Yagam. Then next comes the next important vadham, which happens in Aranyakandam, where Shurpanaka, who has been humiliated, she goes and complains to her brothers who have been stationed in Janasthanam, which is the current Nagpur region. Kara, Dushana and Trishiras, they were her 3 principal brothers. They all asked, who has done this humiliation to my beautiful sister? She was not that beautiful, but of a brother she was beautiful. She had won some title or something. Now, the brothers said, don't worry,
We will go and fight. So they came as a group of 14,000 Rakshasas. 14,000. They were all carrying cycle chain, soda bottle, blade, and Rama and Lakshmana were witness to it. Rama immediately said, Lakshmana, you take Sita to the top of the mountain. There is a cave there. From there you get to see what is the battle that I am waging. Lakshmana said, how can I leave my brother, abandon my brother? I will fight. No, you take Sita to the top. From there you see, it will be like a corporate box of IPL. See, Anushka sees Virat from there. And Virat sees and he leaves RCB. So, here, Sita was stationed with Lakshmana at the top. Rama is looking at the demons who were marching as a group of 14,000. The rishis who were witness to it were wondering, how will Rama single-handedly fight 14,000 demons? Because Rama was a person who was a stickler. He will stick to rules, adhere the rules. Rakshasas did not have the word RULE in their dictionary. So not 14,000 people who don't know what is the word rule is going to fight with a person who is a personification of rules. They are 14,000 in number. He is one in number. Ekascha Ramo Dharmatma Katham Yuddham Bhavishyati. How will the war happen? They wondered. So Kalidasa was also wondering in Raghuvamsham when all the 14,000 demons were approaching, like that Bahubali. So they were all approaching, right? So likewise here Rama is standing. Kalidasa has to write it in Raghuvamsham as to what will happen now when all the 14,000 demons were about to hit at Rama. Kalidasa felt when Rama shot his arrow, it seemed as if 14,000 Ramas were fighting. It seemed. Why? Because Rama was absolutely the perfectionist and the pinnacle of Dhanurveda. In archery, there could be nobody who could match Rama. Who says this? Another archer. See, generally, you will ask, sir, who is the best cardiologist here? So your neighbor may say, go to that doctor, he is a good cardiologist. Imagine you go to that cardiologist and he tells, I would suggest you go to the other cardiologist. Because when we cardiologists are in doubt, we ask him. So, if a cardiologist has to recommend another cardiologist, wouldn't that carry more strength? People went and asked, who is the best dancer? Some Bhakta said, Krishna. In Krishna's dance, have you heard of Krishna's dance? Where did he dance? Kaliya. So one performance he gave, immediately you are telling he is the best dancer. So immediately they went and asked the world's best dancer, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva said, I agree with all of them that Lord Krishna is the best dancer. They all wondered, how can Shiva tell that Krishna is the best dancer? That is when Shiva tells. When we dance, when dancers dance, stage will not dance. Whereas when Krishna dances, stage is also dancing. So if a dancer has to dance on a dancing stage, Adalai Karnathillai Ambalathiraivanuntan Adalai Vittu Inge Gokulam Vandan Uruvadalinar Shirgadavane Uruvamani Ragadi Madhavane Adad Ashangad. So here Arjuna tells that Rama is the best archer because Arjuna himself was a great archer. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha. Partha was the best of the archers. He could shoot arrow from both his bows simultaneously. Because you hold the end of the bow with your feet. The bows are erect. He will strike arrows from both hands. He was ambidextrous in that aspect. A person who could shoot arrows from both his hands was called Savyasachi. Sabyasachi means the one who could shoot arrows from both his hands. In the east of India, they will make Vakaram as Bakaram. So it became Sabyasachi. The one we know is stitching clothes. So, here, we had Arjuna telling in Vanaparva that Rama was the best of the archers. So he fought the demons. Asahaya Shura Anapaya Sahasa. In 1.5 muhurta's time, he could shoot 13,999 demons. Why did he leave that one person? Because that person managed to escape from the battlefield by draping himself with a sari, thinking it's a woman. He wanted to be very respectful and left that 14,000th one. So this is one place where he showed his Veeram. Where else did he show his Veeram? In fighting Ravana, in fighting Kumbhakarna, in fighting Malyavan, in fighting Indrajit, and so on. Vali, it is doubtful. See, he showed his valor, but the only thing is he did not fight Vali. He asked Sugriva to fight. So it was a surgical strike. So, now, another place where Veeram comes into picture is where Jatayu fights Ravana. Jatayu was a scavenger. Scavenger birds are those that rely on dead matter. They won't eat living things. They will eat dead. Kalugu, it is the word used in Tamil. It is a vulture. Like how you have mushrooms. Mushrooms are generally not regarded as that which gives sattva gunam because it relies on decayed or dead matter. Sporophyta? Saprophyte. So, generally, Vedanta Deshika tells in Ahara Niyamam that if you consume certain food stuff, it is not that you won't digest. It will bring your memory down. See, in those days, why food was made a compulsory matter to be analyzed and consumed was anything that will bring your memory down. I told you, our civilization relied completely on memory. See, Sri Harsha was a poet. Do you know? You have heard of Sri Harsha? Yeah. Huh? What did he write? Very good. Huh?
He was
Naishadha Charitra. Very good. So he wrote Naishadham, the story of Nala. Correct, you are correct. Mami is also correct. So Naishadham is Nala Charitra. He wrote one more philosophical work. I don't know if you've heard of it. It is called Khandana Khanda Kadyam. He was a great poet. He belonged to Kashmir. In those days, great Sanskrit poets came from Kashmir. Today, the landscape itself of that place has changed. In those days, Adi Shankara, who had to walk till Sharada Peetham to get, it was called Sarvajna Peetham, and Ramanuja went to Sharada Peetham in Kashmir. Today it is in POK. Because there lied the world's largest library. Muthuswami Dikshitar mentions in his Kalavati Kirtana, Kalavati Kamalasana Yuvati Kalyanam Kalayatu Saraswati Kalavati Sharajyotsna Shuddham Sashivadana Kashmir Nagara Vihara tells in the Ragam Kalavati, Muthuswami Dikshitar, a great composer. So it was a big library, but then it was burnt during the invasions. So this Harsha belonged to Kashmir, and then he came for job opportunities to Varanasi. There was one king there in Kashi. He came there. Because his memory was very sharp, his Acharya suggested that there is one way to bring his memory down by having curd vada. Telugu le solluvom majjige perugu vada. Vada same. Tair becomes perugu. Now, generally with whatever recipe I know, you make it using ulundu. Telugulo emi ulundiki அதில் தானே பண்ணுவேன். இல்லை வேறவா தயிர் வடைக்கு எதிர பண்ணுவா தெரியாது, சாப்பிட தான் தெரியும். So with what will you ulundu with that only you do in Andhra also? If you soak that and then make vada, and then they generally put it in buttermilk first, and then they will add curd to it. That is how Pattappa in Chennai does it. Now, if you do eat curd vada, Shastram tells that over a period of time your memory will come down. In those days, before Vedic recitation, they will never give Tair vada. People, generally Vedic Pandits will abstain from having Tair vada. It is not because of taste. Taste is super. But the problem is if you consume soaked, grinded flour of ulundu, it will bring your memory down. So this Harsha's memory was so sharp that the king recommended you have Tair vada for 1 month to bring your memory down. Otherwise, I cannot match you at all. So but the king could not stay without Harsha, because in those days learned people used to become ministers. So here the king, he wanted to bring Harsha back. So the soldiers went and asked Harsha, because Harsha was eating something. He had to eat the Tair vada, right? What are you eating? Purusha kim kurushe? They asked. He said, Asesha shemushi musha masha masham shisheve. So, Asesha shemushi musha masha masham shisheve means I am eating the vada which is made out of the remaining ulundu, and then which brings down the memory. So, even after consuming that, his vocabulary did not come down. You should see that. He should have said, I am eating. He said, because the person asked two shas, Purusha, Kim Kurushe. He wanted to use that shakar maximum time. So he said, Asesha Shemushi Musha Masha Masham Shisheve. So we had such great poets in our country who relied completely on their memory. So Jatayu, well, I was mentioning, is a scavenger bird. This mushroom is something that will bring your memory down. So they generally refuse to have mushrooms. Now this Jatayu was a scavenger. If you eat dead matter, it is believed in Shastram that you may not be entitled to moksham in that particular janma. If you eat dead matter. Despite that, Jatayu got moksham. Why? Because he showed his veeram till the last minute. He fought valorously with Ravana. So veeram as a rasam, more than Rama, it comes in a scavenger bird called as Jatayu. Jatayu moksha phalada pavamana veera sutudu varu sakshi Rama nama rasi kudu kana kana ruchira kana kava sana minu kana kana. So Jatayu Moksham is an absolute example of Veera Rasam. So we have completed 5 Rasams, correct? Vepambu Rasam, Elivichampala Rasam. What Rasams we have completed? Shringaram, Hasyam, Karunyam, Raudram, Veeram. Now, the next Rasam is called Bhayanakam. Bhayam means fear. So, if we all fear about what is this going to be the state of the Jivatma when it leaves this body at the end of this Janma, that is when the Lord tells, don't worry, O you Jivatma. This is called Abhayam. When we go with Bhayam, he tells, don't worry, Abhayam. If we ask for Varam, he gives this. So, this is called Varada Mudra. This is called Abhaya Mudra. Incidentally, your temple is Sanjeevani Abhaya Anjaneya. So he is holding one mountain like this. But in our country, now this is not winning. Because the Lord wanted to showcase his lotus-like eyes. Now, here, Bhayam is that feeling, that fear factor. When will fear come? asked Ramanuja in Sri Bhashya. Fear is that emotion or instantaneous feeling when you get to perceive an object in front of you or a person in front of you whom you have always detested. Suppose I have negative feelings towards snakes. I see a snake. The moment I see a snake, the emotion that comes in me is fear. But fear is not the feeling that persists. See, that 1 second when I see a snake, I get fear. The next second onwards, the feeling gets changed, swapped to how to protect myself from that snake. So I start running hither and thither. So that fear comes down and that escapism gets more. So fear is that feeling. Where does that fear come? So there are a few places. While Bharata and Shatrughna had gone to Kekeya Desham, Gacchata Madulakulam Bharatena Tata Anagha, Shatrughna Nitya Shatrughna Nitah Preeti Puraskritaha. So Bharata and Shatrughna had gone to Kekeya Desham. At that point in time, Dasharatha goes and stands in front of a mirror. After such a long time, today only he had time to go and comb his hair. So using set wet, he tried to comb. While he was combing his hair, one single strand of grey hair, after having so many sons and daughters-in-law, only now he has got a single strand of grey hair. He wanted to enjoy his salt and pepper look. Salt and pepper look. So while he was combing, one strand of grey hair, curly in nature, came closer to his ear. And that said some secret. Kalidasa tells, Tam karnamulam agatya ramer shrirnyasyatam iti kaikeyi shankhayevaha parita chadmana jara. Jara means old age. This man was old. Tam karnamulam agatya. It seems that the single strand of hair came close to his ear. Tam karnamulam agatya. What did it say? Ramir Shrirnyasyatam iti. Enough, it is time that you have ruled, give it to your son. That time itself, first thing what happened, Dasharatha doubted Kaikeyi's intentions. Kaikeyi Shankhayevaha Parita Chadmana Jara. So he immediately calls his minister, Sumantra, who is also the charioteer, driver cum minister. So he calls him. And he tells, make arrangements for Rama's Yuvaraja Pattabhishekam tomorrow. Immediately, Sumantra said, sir, we don't have time. I have to call up an event management company. They will also need time. They have to showcase. Today, for all marriages, we have event management, right? So they will bring 4 or 5 ladies and they will be standing at where they will say, Namaste. Many marriages you go, many ladies will be standing in one uniform. Please. I asked them, I have never seen you. They say, even I don't know you. They gave me 1,000 rupees. They said, whoever comes, you have to say, Namaste, please come. So in our families, we don't even have people to welcome others. So we have to depute others. So in event management companies, Sumantra said, we have very little time. That is when Dasharatha tells, I sense some bad astronomical movements. It gives me fear. Kimnu chittam manushyanam anityamiti me matam. More than the movements of the astronomical bodies, I am concerned about the human thoughts. Even before something adverse happens, I want to coronate Rama as the higher apparent. So this is the first fear factor that comes. Next is when Parashurama comes, Dasharatha gets panic-stricken whether this Parashurama will hurt my son. So he falls at the feet of Parashurama and tells, I seek to Sharanagati at your feet. Please protect my son from your anger. This is second. Is there some other place where fear is shown? Yes. While the Yajna Samrakshanam happened, I mentioned that Rama shot an arrow at Subahu and killed him. Whereas he did not kill Maricha, he shot an arrow and drove this demon away from Uttar Pradesh. And this demon who fell of Rama's powerful arrow fell in Tamil Nadu. he sat under a banyan tree and this demon became a sannyasi. Rama's arrow could make him a sannyasi. So this Maricha became a sannyasi. Maricha was Ravana's own uncle. The moment Shurpanaka came and described Sita's beauty, first she initially came with her nose cut, ears cut, blood was oozing, she had put some first aid and she had come. So looking at her, Ravana was angry. He asked, "Who did this to you?" You know how she manages? She tells, "You have done so much to me, Ravana. I wanted to find a good, beautiful girl for you. So I went to Bharatadesha. There I saw a Vararoha. Vararoha means slender waisted. Vararoha, beautiful lady, Sita, Swarnangi. She is the personification of gold. I wanted to bring her so that I can get her married to you. But things took a very ugly turn. And as it took an ugly turn, my nose and ears were chopped off. The start, he said, "Who did this to my sister?" At the end, he asked, "Who is that Sita?" See, this change of thought Kamban describes. Those of you who can understand minimum Tamil will appreciate. Karanayum marandan, Uranayum marandan, Tangai mookinai kadindadum marandan, Anaithum marandan, Keta mangayai marandiladan. He forgot everything except the description of Sita. So he comes all the way to Tamil Nadu to coax Maricha to go as a gem-studded golden deer to lure Sita. So he comes and tells, "Mama," looking at Maricha. Maricha opens his eyes. Now he's Marichananda. So he opens his eyes. He tells, "Welcome Ravana, how are you?" "Maricha, you may have to go to the place where Rama stays." By the time he completed the word Rama, Maricha fell from his seat. "Rakaradini namani, please don't ever say any word that begins with the letter Ra." Ravana thought, "You are afraid of me, Ravana." Ledu, Ramudu. You said Rama, right? That man at the age of 12 struck with one arrow. 800 miles away have fallen. With that fall itself, have become a sannyasi. If you mention his name once again, I've heard that he's married to Sita now. He will have more power. What and all he will do to me. That is when Ravana tells, you will have to go and fight that Rama in a different way. A proxy war where you will have to go as a gem-studded golden deer and infatuate Sita. That is when Maricha tells, "See, since you are my king and you are related to me, I may have to follow your orders. But I will tell you one thing, Ravana. You will die tomorrow as much as I am going to die today. So both our ends have been fixed. It is just that you are going to die after me." And he goes. So this is another fear factor, a bhayanaka rasam, which has been shown. What is the next rasam? Seventh rasam is bibhatsam. Bibhatsam is disgust. How will you show disgust? See, we humans are known to be people or Homo sapiens who are blessed with the sixth sense. Correct? English. The sixth sense. In Tamil, we have got one more step ahead. So, forget about the seventh. Let's come to the sixth. Sixth itself is a problem here. Now, we have got Panchendriyam. We have got two types of Indriyam. Karmendriyam and Jnanendriyam. Jnanendriyam are the eyes, ears, nose, skin, tongue. Because they will sense, but that sense will come only when it comes in touch with your brain. See, I see the camera Though my eyes are seeing it, I can sense it is the camera only if this is captured and sent by my eyes to my brain. My brain has to go and search in the archives. Have you seen this object before? Then it will say, yes, 4 years before you have seen camera. So, that word camera is recorded, right? This will match against the photo taken by my eye. Both will combine and then they will come back to my mind and say, this is camera. Sir, so many steps will happen, yes. But since the time gap between each of the steps is only a nanoth of a second, we don't sense the steps. That is why to a person in coma, only the dharmic jnanam will operate. The dharma bhuta jnanam will not operate. Dharma bhuta jnanam is the attributive knowledge which will come only when the senses come in contact with the object. Whereas dharmic jnanam is the presence of I-ness to the jivatma. Till that I-ness exists, then the Atma will stay inside the body. But to a coma patient, the dharma bhuta jnanam will not operate. Okay, that's Vedanta, that's a different aspect. Now the point that I am trying to tell is eyes can sense only till a certain distance. My eyes can see. What is happening in the second house of the first floor in Ruby building? I don't know. Because that is beyond my perception. There is a limit, right, to my eyes. I cannot see. I cannot even see what is the shirt worn by the penultimate person in the last row from here. Because my eyes can see only till a certain distance. Same is the case with nose. If some vada is made close to my nose, then I can smell. But in those days they used to say, flowers and smell are inseparable. You can never separate smell from the flower. But today we have got such modified flowers. You put that flower inside your nose also, there is no smell. Right? So, nose can sense smell if there is, in a certain scope. See, I put perfume, brut. A Yardley. I spray. See, after I spray, in 2-3 minutes, I cannot sense the smell after 2-3 minutes. You know why? Because the epithelial cells in your nose, they start getting used to it and they die. So you can, the other person can smell, but I will stop smelling. So there is limitation even to the nose. Same is the case with tongue. See how much we struggle to make good food, but the taste starts from the tip of the tongue and goes 3 centimeters till the end of the tongue. For the 3 centimeters of taste, how much we struggle. See, beyond that, when it goes through the esophagus, then it reaches the stomach. They all cannot sense taste. And when it is outside your tongue, you still won't know the taste. Just for those 3 centimeters, how much we struggle. We have to put the right amount of seasoning. We have to give the right amount of salt. Uppilla, pandam, kuppayil. Right? If there is no right amount of salt, then how much ever you struggle in making the food good, it will not taste good. So tongue also has a certain limitation. Same is the case with skin. Same is the case with ear. 2 days I come and give lectures, you may like it. Every day, no. 2 days, arrange చేశారు ఆదికోస్కర నేను అక్కడ so it was okay, sir. So ears also get accustomed to that. But the beauty is when you start registering all these perceptual experiences later on a date. If suppose you have had vada today, 2 days later somebody tells you, I made vada at home. So that next minute in your eyes you can see that vada. That vada is not in front of you. Your eye can actually relate to the archives and then bring that vada's picture back. And as they say, gara 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 gara, come on. So you will start watering. And it may even go to the extent of drooling. డ్రూలింగ్ తెలుసా? డ్రూలింగ్ అంటే జొళ్ళు. తెలుగులో ఏమి? చొక్కా. చొక్కా అదా. సో somewhere very close, జొళ్ళు. See, Krishna had that drooling, tells Annamacharya. కటిధటిత మేఖల ఖచిత మణికంఠిత పఠల నినదేన విభ్రాజ్యమానం కుటిల పద ఘటిత సంకుల సంచిదేదటం చటుల నటనా సముజ్వల విలాసం భావయామి గోపాల బాలం మనసేవితం తత్పదం చింతయేయం నిరతకర కలిత నవనీతం. Looking at the ball of butter, he started drooling. So even with the word vada, you can see it, you can feel the taste, and you can feel the smell as well. See, this ability where our mind is able to sense that object without seeing or feeling that object is called the sixth sense. You are not seeing that object, but you can still feel it. But if you translate this feeling to spirituality, is where all Alvars deployed it. Nammalvar, who's called Shatakopa, even without Tulasi in front of him, if you think of the Lord, he tells, Mayale Perugum. He could sense and feel Tulasi, it seems. So, Tulasi, even without her presence, when her smell, her touch, her coolness is felt by the Alvas, it transports them to a sphere of Parabhakti, Parajnana, Paramabhakti. So, this is the sixth sense. Now, let's go to a negative part to it. Suppose I say that there is a big sewage tank next to their house. Nobody react like the sewage tank. What will be your face? Sewage tank. So that very moment your mouth changes, your expression changes, and internally you start feeling the dirty smell. I've just said sewage tank. You start seeing that, right? This feeling of getting a disgust when the sixth sense operates is called Bibhatsa Rasam. So for this Bibhatsa Rasam, I had to give one lecture. Now, where do we sense Bibhatsam in Ramayana? There are two instances. One, when a demoness called as Ayomukhi, she expresses her love to Lakshmana. She wants to marry Lakshmana. So this is one case where disgust, Bibhatsam, comes into picture. Valmiki describes Lambodarim Tikshnadamshtram Karalim Parushatvacham Bhakshayantim Mrigan Bhiman Vikatam Muktamudhajam Avaikshatam Tutau Tatra Bhrataro Rama Lakshmanau. She expressed her love. How was she? Lambodarim. She had a huge tummy. Sir, will that cause disgust in those days? If you should not have a tummy at all. Lambodari, Tikshna Damstram. What is Damstra? That. See, when you close your mouth, even then if two teeth manage to come out, it is called Singappal. It is not Singappal, it is Korappal. So, it is called Damshtra. In those days, you didn't have braces. Nowadays, you go to dent Pallandu, put it inside. Tikshna Damshtram. See, if you see in many of the Ambika temples, the outside watchwomen will have Damshtra. Tikshna Damshtram Karalim Parushatvacham Bhakshayanti Mrigan Bhiman Vikatam Muktamurdhajam. She had white completely. She had dyed it white. See, people dye it black. She had dyed it white. Can we dye it like that, sir? See, Shurpanaka is described in Ramayana. Tamramurdhaja, she had red hair. She had dyed it red. I was wondering, Valmiki must have just said it like that to give that poetic touch. I was wondering. My lecture was arranged in North Carolina. So I had to travel from Atlanta. So when I went and sat in my flight, I was looking outside through the window. That is when somebody tried to push me. I looked left. She was an American, an African American who was seated next to me. Her hair was blue in color. So that is when I realized, then she could be red in color. Neelatoyata madhyastha vidhyulleke babhaswara. She was Neelam and she was Tamra Murdhaja. She is Mukta Murdhaja. So white color. Avaikshatam. So this lady, even if she looks to the mirror the way she has adorned herself, she will get bhayanakam. She expressed her love to Lakshmana. So Lakshmana is shocked. He thought, I have been serving my brother for 14 years, I will get some useful gift. She is telling, I want to marry. So if you do Rama Kainkaryam, probably Ayomukhi will propose. Next comes another demon to showcase Bibhatsarasam. His name was Kabandha. Dadarsha sumahakayam rakshasam vipula urasam आसेदतुः च तत्रक्षः तौ उभौ प्रमुखे स्थितं विवृद्धम् अशिरोग्रीवं कबन्धं उदरे मुखं. His mouth was in the stomach. See what a blessing. See, for us we have to put it like this. It has to grind and then make one noise and grind inside. For him he can pass it here itself directly. So this was Kabandha. So this is Bibhatsam. Then we have another important 8th rasam. Adbhuta rasam. Adbhutam means something which gives you a surprise, pleasant surprise. I don't know my lecture is a surprise or a shock. So you will have to decide it later. But Adbhuta rasam in Bhagavatam, Shuka Brahman tells when Krishna was born, Tam Adbhutam Balakam Ambujekshanam Chaturbhujam Shankagadharyudharyudam Srivatsalakshmam Gadashobhikaustubham Pitambaram Sandrapayodi Saubhagam. When Krishna was born, it was an act of wonder, it seems. Tam Adbhutam Balakam. Why was it a wonder? Because most children, when we are born, the doctors or the nurses there will expect a normal child to cry. First sadist in this world, we are. So, we expect the newborn child to cry. Whereas when Krishna was born, he was smiling. Tamadbhutam. How do you know if it was smile? Is it a Pokkavai smile? Pokkavai in Tamil means empty mouth with no teeth. No. Dvija Chandra Chandrika Maikshata. He had 2 rows of 32 teeth. Vedanta Deshika tells. Why? Tam Adbhutam Balakam. If you have to be a surprising child, you have to have something shocking, right? So 32 teeth. Tam Adbhutam Balakam. Why? What makes him Adbhutam? Chaturbhujam. 4 hands. See, generally people, if you trouble them with work, they will say, why are you giving me so much of work? Do I have 4-5 hands? But Krishna cannot complain. Tamadbhutam balakam ambujekshanam chaturbhujam. He has got 4 hands. Shankhagadharyudharyudam. In that he holds all the weapons. So when he was born itself, he was born with Shankam, Chakram. And there Shuka Brahman tells, Srivatsalakshmam. When the Lord was born, he was born with a mole in his chest. The mole of the Lord is called Srivatsam. On Srivatsam was seated Mahalakshmi. So when Devaki gave birth to her son, she equally gave birth to her daughter-in-law. See, the son, she gives birth to a married son. Tam Adbhutam Balakam. She doesn't have to put any advertisement in matrimony. While the son is born, daughter-in-law is also born, same age. She may be elder also, like Tendulkar. So, Tam Adbhutam Balakam Ambujekshanam. Balakam. Balakaha, how do we derive? Is Balaha, Kaha, Yasya Saha, Balakaha. Kaha in Sanskritam means Brahma. So Kaha is Brahma, Balaha is the little boy. When the boy was born to Devaki, it seems he had a beautiful lotus emerging out of the navel, and on the lotus was seated Brahma. So the Lord was born when he had given birth to his own son. So Devaki had a son and a grandson at the same time. Tamadbhutam balakam. So if that is Adbhutam in Krishna Avataram, what is Adbhutam in Rama Avataram? See, the Adbhutam was Rama, Lakshmana and Vishwamitra walked. They were walking and they were moving towards Mithila because he had one message for Sita Swayamvar. But as they were walking, Rama was walking behind Vishwamitra. Being an ardent student, he walked with all humility. Being a Veera, he walked with the gait of a Simha. Gajasimha gati Veerau Shardula Vrishabhopamau. As he walked, Rama's holy lotus-like feet had association with Padukas. And as the Padukas touched on the Medhini, who is earth, and as Rama walked, it raised dust. And the dust which had the holy association with Rama's feet, they all went and fell on a stone. And the stone turned into a lady, Ahalya. See, imagine we are walking on the road. Suddenly from our legs some dust goes and falls on some plastic cover. Plastic cover becomes a human being. You'll be surprised. Already there is excess population in our country. Where will Rahul go for 74,000 rupees? Every plastic cover becomes a human being. Correct? So, when Rama walked, the stone turned into a lady. It seems Vishwamitra was surprised at this act. He looked at Rama time and again and he thought, Ivvannam Nigaldavannam Iniinda Ulagukkellam Uivannam Antimattor Tuyarvannam Uruvadundo Maivannathu Arakkiporil Malaivannathu Annale Un Kaivannam Angu Kanden Kalvannam Ingu Kanden. In Tamil, the word kandane doesn't mean seeing. The word seeing in Tamil means parthen. Vairamuthu wrote one song, parthen rasithen. So parpada means to see. Kandane means to see with an element of surprise. If they keep coffee, you should say coffee parthen. Coffee kandane. I have not had coffee for the last 6 months. Then only I will use the word kandane. Why did Vishwamitra say Kaivannam Angu Kandane Kalvannam Ingu Kandane? Because in this world it was a given fact that if one person has to punish the other, he will always use his foot. I will kick him. So to punish, you will use your feet. To motivate, encourage and show your love, you will use your hands. Come on, my son, I want to give you a hug. Come. So to embrace, you use your hands. Rama did that to Hanuman, right? Apara, Paravara, Parikha, Parivrita, Parapura, Parasrita, Davadahana, Javana, Pavana, Bhava, Kapivara, Parishwanga Bhavita, Sarvasvadana. Rama hugged Hanuman. Hanuman hugged Bharata. Rama hugged Bharata. So hugging is an act of embrace, which is an act of love, which is an act of motivation. So I have to motivate, I use my hands. I have to punish, I use my feet. Whereas Rama was an Adbhuta person. With the feet that is meant to punish, he embraced Ahalya. With the hands that are meant to embrace, he killed Tataka. So Vishwamitra was surprised how beautifully this man is opposite the world's general known fact. Kaivannam Angu Kandane, Kalvannam Ingu Kandane. Kal in Tamil means feet as well as quarter. What is quarter? Quarter is just a number, 1/4. So, in the entire Ramayana, Vishwamitra as a rishi manages to experience Rama's Gunanubhavam only till Sita Vivaham. After Sita Vivaham, you won't see Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra, out of grievance, tells, Kal Vannam Inga Kandem. I have seen only 1/4. Mukkal Vannam Parthile. So Kal is feet as well as a number. Interestingly, in Tamil, Kal means foot as well as quarter. In Sanskrit also, Padam means feet as well as quarter. Tripadasya divi. Tripadam is 3 quarters. Here, so this is an Adbhuta Rasam. So where else do we find Adbhuta Rasam? When Rama and Ravana were fighting, it was a war which the world had never seen and will never see. It was a nulli secundus. Nulli secundus is a word in the dictionary where you say it is second to none. So Valmiki, being a poet, he had to compare this beautiful war that was fought between Rama and Ravana. He had to give a simile, upama. What is the word for upama in Telugu? Upama, pardon. No, upama. In Tamil it is called uamai. Uamai, upama, upma, whatever. Now, they both fought. What upama will he give? Gaganam gaganakaram. Gaganam. Gaganam ante sky. How vast is the sky? So, what is the comparison to the vast sky? Vast sky, vast sky, vast sky. Gaganam gaganakaram. See, a person has not tasted sugar cane. But sugar cane is very tasty. I don't know how many of you have visited Ranganathan Street in Chennai. At the start, there is a sugar cane shop. Orthodox shop. Acharam ante ade acharam. Akkada తీసుకున్నారంటే ఇక్షు జ్యూస్ మోక్షంకి వెళ్తారు. అదిలో అన్ని జీవరాశి ఉంది. So, suppose we consume good sugar cane. You remember that Vico Vajradanti advertisement, he will bring. So likewise, there is one sugar cane. I have tasted. Another person who has never tasted sugar cane. Sir, how is sugar cane? Sugar cane, sweet agundi. Sweet and sugar cane. How is sugar cane, sir? Why are you asking? Wait, sir. You bring that sugar cane. I will break. Open your mouth. Ilage undi. So, how is Gaganam? Valmiki tells Gaganam Gaganakaram. So if sky has to be compared, it can be compared only with the sky. Gaganam Gaganakaram. Sagaram Sagaropam. So Valmiki tells if the ocean has to be compared, it has to be compared to the ocean. Gaganam Gaganakaram. Sagaram Sagaropamam. If you are asking me how was the battle that was fought between Rama and Ravana, it can be compared only with the battle fought by Rama and Ravana. Gaganam Gaganakaram, Sagaram Sagaropam, Rama Ravana yor yuddham, Rama Ravana yoriva, because it is an adbhutam. So they fought so valorously. This is another adbhuta rasam. So if this is adbhuta rasam, where do we come across? Did I tell about Hanuman flying yesterday? Huh?
She goes into that largest mouth and comes out.
Okay, that portion I said. Another portion is left. Now, if there is another Adbhuta Rasam, it is about Hanuman flying. See, generally birds fly. Birds then we can't fly. Now, don't tell me Hrithik Roshan flew in Krish. Generally, birds can fly. Birds are aerial, generally they fly. But all these Jivarasis form an integral part to the Lord's Shariram. Sura, Nara, Khaga, Go, Bhogi, Gandharva, Daityeyi. Who are Suras? Sura ante emi? Vijay Padam. Sura. Who are Suras? Suras are Devudu. So all these Indra, Agni, Vayu, they are all devas. What are the characteristics of devas? Very good. They will not blink. Their feet won't touch the earth. Very good. The garland that they wear will never fade. There is no garland seller in Devalokam. Amaravati Patnam, not the Naidu one. Different Amaravati. So no garland seller because it won't fade. So Sura, they are all one category. Nara. Comfortably we can keep that in our that category. As of now we can place ourselves there. Nara. Sura, Nara. Kaga. Birds. All birds. Kaga. Go. Go. Bovine race. 4-legged animals. Go. Bogi. So it comes during Pongal. Snakes. Snakes are bogis. That is why Adisesha is called Bhogindra. Bhoginam Indraha Bhogindraha. So the Lord sleeps on Bhogindra. Bhogindra Shayenam Purukushaladayinam Purusham Sashvatam Kalaye. Bhogi. Gandharva. Gandharvas, what do they do? Musicians. In Kerala they will say Jesudas. Because Jesudas is called Gana Gandharva. So, Gandharva. Then Daityahi. Who are Daityas? In 1 month they are campaigning, no? Daityahi. Sura, Nara, Khaga, Go, Bhogi, Gandharva, Daityahi. So they are all an integral part of the Lord. Chitram Ram Ram. There's a Ram Ram. Chitram Ram Ram Yadetam Tribhuvana Vapusham Vishnu Isham Namami. So in this the birds fly. And most animals they walk or they jump. See, monkeys can jump, birds can fly. But we say Hanuman flew. Now comes a doubt whether in those days monkeys could fly or there was a different species. You can give answers to this in various ways. See, many elderly people are seated here. I am not even half your age. But at least with my experience, I can tell you in Bangalore when I grew up, in our veranda, there used to be many nests constructed by the sparrows. Many sparrows used to construct inside the house. We never used to even switch on fans because the sparrows will get caught. But today, there is no concept of sparrow. That is why this 2.0 came. Correct? No sparrows. So right in front of our eyes, we are seeing species getting extinct. Why should we go till dinosaurs? Even in front of our eyes, we are not. If you go to Singapore, you will not. People keep, when I go to Singapore, they'll say, sir, you are telling for Pitru Paksham, we have to keep rice to cows. There are no crows here at all. Because they will be culling the crows in Singapore. Not a single crow you can find. So, crows are not found. Sparrows are not found. So, there could have been a species in the monkey clan which was more efficient than the monkeys that we see here. So, which could have had the ability to at least fly. Could have been there. But we can't judge it that way. Another way to look at it is, Ramayana has come to us in the form of a poem. Poem ante adalo exaggeration undi. Atishayokti anta cheptaru. What is, I don't know in Telugu what it is called. Atishayokti ante. Atishayokti, Atishayokti means exaggerating some normal situation. When they entered the hall, you should have seen the bride and the groom. They were looking like devas. If you see the video, nothing will let it. Sakshat Parvati Parameshwarudu. No Parvati, no Parameshwarudu. Ordinary people. But for the parents, they will exaggerate. See, they will forward videos of their grandchildren. எப்படி சொல்றான் பாருங்களே எப்படி இல்ல சாதாரணமா சொல்லுவாங்க. See, generally our human mentality is, if the next door child recites well, சும்மா சொல்றான்னா மழலை இன்னும் போல கேட்டேட இதே நம்மாத்து குழந்தை சொல்லி கொடுத்தோம்னா அப்படியே சூப்பர் சிங்கருக்கு போகும். So, it is a human mentality to always exaggerate the little achievements of one's own child and put down the other. Right? We can't help. So here in poetry, there is always prone to be exaggeration. That then is where you will arrive at poetry. Otherwise, poetry will cease to be poetry. So, Indians are naturally known to be dramatic and poetic people. We are all poets by ourselves, just that we have not tapped the talent. So we are all poets and we are all very dramatic. See, with whatever little experience I have got in going to other countries. If you have been to Shanghai once, so there is a train which doesn't touch that line. What is it? Maglev train. So when we went there after my lecture, not a single person was talking to the other. In our trains, we all talk. Nothing we do. There people were just on their phones. But we are very expressive. See, that way, yes, we have been benefited at least with their eyes. They have to complain. Right? At least we say, Vada. So we are all very dramatic. We are all poets. Shakespeare, we will give a tough competition. Now, well, I started driving. I got that license somehow. So they asked me to put that 8 Ashtakshar. Omiti Bahare Tanamaiti Paschat Narayana Yetu Parishtat Omityeka Aksharan Namaiti Tve Akshare Narayana Yeti Pancha Aksharani Edasya Ashtaksharam Padam. Only if you put 8, they will give license. So they are all Bhaktas of Vishnu. So I put that license. Then for that car parking, you have to do parallel parking. Everything. Then you have to put it in reverse. So one day, there was, I think it was some voting day or something. I told my mother, you sit with me, I will take you. My aunt was also there at my house. So I called her. She took a same decision. She said, I'll stay back. She had to get her daughter married. So she didn't want to take risk. So she said, I will stay back. I will cook for the both of you and keep if you return. So this was the confidence level that they had on my driving. Yes, my mother, she assured to come. She was ready to sacrifice anything for me. So she sat besides me, and after about half an hour drive, I brought back my mother. My mother looked haggard with the 7-Up advertisement there. So she entered the house. My aunt was first of all surprised that we could be back in this janma. So she asked my mother, how did he drive? You know what my mother said? Do you think he drew? He flew! So see, what is the meaning of the word flew there? It means that I am driving at a speed which is more than the average. So if everybody drives at a certain speed, I would have driven at a higher speed. So that gives a feeling to my mother as if I am flying. She knows for the reality that I am not flown. Likewise, if an average monkey could jump tree to tree, Hanuman was an extraordinary monkey who could do more than the average. So people would have exaggerated that jumping to flying. Possible, correct? See, I was in Bombay for 5.5 years. I was working there. So we used to have a marathon from Bandra. It was a famous marathon that our company hosted. So I used to wonder who's going to run. But then we had a dream run for 6 miles and things like that. So I registered onto that. Just before that marathon, I was invited to Kenya, Nairobi for lectures. So I went to Nairobi, delivered my lectures, and then I had to fly back from Kenya. So I was in the airport, and as usual, the flight got delayed. Wherever I go, that will happen. So that's the way that I can lose my karma. So I sat at the airport. Then I had to use the washroom. As I opened the men's bathroom, there was close to an 8-footer. He would have been that tall. Ongi Vulagadanda Uttaman. So he wanted to wash his feet. He kept his foot on the wash basin. So one foot was down. Ambaram Mudarathu Ongi Vulagadanda Uttartomane Uranga Elindira. The other foot was there. That is when I assumed that the Lord would have also taken Trivikrama Avataram. So after this I came to the marathon. So in a marathon, if you complete the 21 kilometer stretch in record time, you get some $1,000 or something. There was one person next to me. He was from Botswana. Very tough. Complan boy. So we started running together. He kept one foot here, the other foot there. I will need at least 20 steps to cover that. That is when I realized, in human beings, when we sense such extraordinary people, why can't we imagine that there could have been an extraordinary monkey who could have jumped boulder to boulder in those days? So this is also an Adbhutam. Correct? Now comes the last of the gunams, which is Shantam. What is Shantam? For that we need to understand what is Sukham. Sukham ante Mlecha bhasha, English lo happiness. Sukham eppudu vastundi? Eppudu ante, if I obtain an object which I have desired for a long time. What is that which I have desired? That the lecture should get over. The lecture gets over. You should see the happiness that comes. Hi, Devda. So that happiness is a feeling, that emotion comes when you achieve what you have desired. See, a child may desire a Barbie girl. I am a Barbie girl. I want a Barbie doll. So I've got. So the moment I get an object that I desire, I feel happy. That is Sukham. But happiness is not an everlasting feeling. See, we go to a temple. Suppose you go to Anjaneya Swami temple. There are 5-6 people there. One person has given for some archana. So the priest comes and garlands him. See, the natural human instinct to the others present there inside their heart is, wish even I was garlanded. Doesn't that feeling come? Even to the most philosophical of the souls. But the moment the priest puts that garland, you get that feeling of happiness because you have got what you have desired. But the next moment it vanishes because you'll be wondering where to keep that garland. That is where in temples the architecture has many holes. So you will go on a pradakshinam. Sukshma Rupa That's how our temples are flooded with malas. You'll be wondering, because we don't want to have that mala, we'll keep it somewhere. So that is happiness. But what is Shantam? Now we need to understand from Sukham there is another feeling. In English, a very, very closely associated word to that feeling is bliss. When the sense of completeness is everlasting for no reason, then it is called bliss. If it lasts for a reason, then it becomes happiness. I wanted a Barbie doll, so I've got it, so I'm happy. But if that feeling of completeness is everlasting for no reason, it is called bliss. And that translates to a rasam called as Shanta Rasam. When does that Shanta Rasam come? When you have not desired, but that nature gives you that complete feeling. That is where in Srimad Ramayana, while Rama and Sita along with Lakshmana reach the banks of river Mandakini in a place called Chitrakutam, which is at the top of Madhya Pradesh today. Sita tells Rama, it is a blessing in disguise, Rama, that Mother Kaikeyi and Dasharatha have sent us to the forest. Looking at the beautiful range of hills that surround us, the thin sheet of greenery that envelops the mountains after the rainy season, the cool breeze that emanates from the movement of the trees and that touches our skin, the beautiful jumping of the baboons and the monkeys tree to tree, the beautiful running of the deers on looking at us after the Chanchala Drishti, the beautiful fauna that can associate and gel with us in a foreign environment as this. The serene movement of the waters of Mandakini every minute and every second. And the hermitage that has been beautifully constructed to us by Lakshmana. The servitude that never asks for anything in return that we see in him. the beauty that I see in your moon-like countenance, and the love that you see in my eyes, this is going to be everlasting. And this is the rasam that I get, she tells. And this is Shantam. So in Ramayana, while we began with the informidable and the most communable love that we began with Shringaram, continued and developed into Karunyam, which is the act of mercy. Then we saw the humor that is associated, which is Hasyam. Then we saw the Veera Rasam that came out of a character called Rama. Then we saw the Bhayanakam there. Then we saw Bibhatsa Rasam. We saw Adbhuta Rasam. And then we have seen Shanta Rasam. So the Navarasas of Ramayana have been very, very simply and superficially being touched by me. 24,000 verses, the exquisite commentaries that are attached to Ramayana, and the various trans versions and the trans creations of Ramayana that you see in the 9th canto of Bhagavatam, in the 4th Amsham of Vishnu Puranam, in Vanaparva of Mahabharatam, in Agni Purana, in Skandam, in Kalidasa's Raghuvamsham, in Bhasa's plays, in Vedanta Deshika's works, in Ranganatha Ramayanam, in Kamba Ramayanam, in Kuvempu's Ramayanam, in Tunjattu Ramanuja Edutachan's Adhyatma Ramayanam, in Bhanu Bhaktacharya's Nepali Ramayanam, in Goswami Tulasidasa's Ramacharita Manas, in Kritivasa's Ramayanam. How many versions, how many transcreations, how many works in so many languages have brought forth the quintessence of Ramayanam in millenniums. And it will be an irrefutable and impossible job and a feat if I have to bring the quintessence of Navarasas in Ramayanam in 2 days, in 4 hours, with the amount of transgressions and unwanted and irrelevant examples that I give. So it may be very tough to do that. Despite that, the Dharmarakshana Sabha has been very, very forthcoming and volunteering to organize these set of 2 lectures. They were a bit skeptical in the start because they felt that not too many such lectures have been organized, and how will people of my jewel, correct, my home, jewel, welcome. But it is so very good and freshening to find people from all ages and all genres to have walked in to this lecture series yesterday and today, to understand and appreciate the content that Ramayana holds for us in front. So I don't know how much I could bring forth in these 2 days, but this is just a teaser for us to do more research and understanding of Ramayana in the days to come, either through listening or reading. So with this, the Navarasas of Ramayana comes to a conclusion, and this month, now this is March 30th, April 6th, I'm again back in Secunderabad to my normal venue that I come, Keys High School. So there, my lecture is going to be in Tamil. This year commemorates the 125th birth anniversary of a great saint sannyasi called Chandrasekharendra Saraswati of Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham. So he was referred to as Paramacharya or Mahapriyava. So to commemorate his birth sessions, there have been many lectures arranged in Keys High School by the Ramanavami Cultural Committee. On day 1, April 6th, I will be talking on the Sarvajñatvam and Bhagavad Swarupatvam of Kanchi Paramacharya on the 6th of April, which is a Saturday, I believe. So those of you who can understand Tamil, and in the same venue with many lecture sessions in Tamil, there is also going to be Chagandi Koteshwar Rao's Telugu Pravachanam on Paramacharya. So on the 6th of April, those of you who can make it, I know it's quite far. So despite that, if some of you can make it on the 6th of April, you can come. On the April 13th till 22nd, I am giving a Ramayana Navaham, 9 lectures on Ramayana in Tamil at Ghatkopar Bhajana Samaj in Bombay. Those of you who have got relatives in the vicinity of Ghatkopar around Chembur, Bhandu, Mulund, they can attend. And May month, I am traveling to give English lectures in Europe, in certain countries. If you've got your sons, daughters or your kith and kin there, they can come May 3rd, I'm giving my lecture at Frankfurt. May 4th, it is at Luxembourg. May 5th, it is at Brussels in Belgium. And then May 10th, it is at Basel. May 11th, it is at Geneva. May 12th, it is at Copenhagen, Denmark. So if you've got your relatives there, all the lectures are in English, and it's not very common to find English lectures on ancient scriptures. So if they have time, they can surely make it. Those of you who wish to listen to my discourses in either English or Tamil can kindly download the Deshikadaya app. Over a period of time, it will also carry the lectures that I'm delivering at various places. I'm sure those of you who have been hearing to lectures, it wouldn't be new to you. Some of you could be very new to such lecture series. So let this be a good beginning. You should ensure that you keep listening to a lot of lectures by various scholars, because as I have reiterated, Sanatana Dharma is one religion that never believes in conversions. We don't have money to lure, nor do we have bombs to scare. So the only thing that we have in our hands is the content given to us by rishis and maharishis. And that can help sustain the sampradayam only when we listen and we pass the information to others. So the Rakshana Sabha, along with the volunteers and the support, have done a wonderful job. I would like to thank very particularly Mr. Venkateshwaran Mama. He has been very supportive. He met me he traveled all the way from Gurgaon to meet me in Delhi during December month, and he wanted to ensure that I come here. So then there were a series of mails, so thankful to him, to the other set of volunteers, and especially to my hosting couple who have been so wonderful in hosting me, and to all of you for being present both the days, and to all the youngsters who have managed to remain patient, because my topic was not Kishkinda Kandam. Despite that, you have all made it a Sundara Kandam with your patience and perseverance. Hope this continues with the youngsters in the days to come as well. And now they have a request from the Sabha's side. He was a bit skeptical. He said, when we honor you in 2 minutes, people may get up and go. I said, I will personally request all of them to stay back for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, they will honor, and then you can disperse in an orderly manner. Thank you so much. Kavitatika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta